everybody for coming. What a great turnout today. We've got some exciting candidates, and this shows just how exciting it is, and what really appreciate everybody turning out to show their support for these candidates. I'm Bill Dewey. I manage public affairs for Taylor Shellfish Farms, and I'd like to welcome you to Sims and to this event. So excited that we have worked with Senator Cantwell now for a number of years in Congress, and for our industry, she's really been instrumental. We have a lot of issues that we try to tackle on the federal level, and ocean acidification is just one I would call out that she's been a stalwart leader on, and we're so excited for the support that you've provided there, both nationally on carbon emission policies, but also as it relates to helping us as an industry adapt with our seed emergency and getting us funding to help us do critical monitoring and learn more about the science around ocean acidification. Really been instrumental in helping us survive through this seed crisis. We just want to acknowledge that. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Also got some other great candidates here running in this election that we're going to hear from. And first up, I'd like to introduce the next congressman for the 6th Congressional District, Derick Kilmer. I'd like to say that you've got some big shoes to fill. You know that. I do. But first and foremost, one of Norm's most important goals was advertising for Sins Restaurant. We don't have an advertising budget because everywhere Norm went, he preached the virtues of eating at Sins. So we expect you to pick that up.
You have my word.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's great to be here. In fact, I hear three things more than any other on the campaign trail. First, most recently, I hear, boy, your kids are really cute. To which I generally respond, thankfully they look like my wife. The second most common thing I hear is, dear God, why on earth would you run for Congress when it's such a mess? To which I generally respond, because I think it's a mess and I think we need to fix it. Yes. But the third most frequent thing that I hear is, you've got big shoes to fill. And I'm very conscious of that and very grateful to Norm Dix, not just for his advertising of Sins, but for his extraordinary work on issues affecting this district and the district he's represented so ably for the last 36 years. I will tell you, I actually did my Mason County kickoff here, which Denny Heck was very quick to remind me is not in the 6th Congressional District. I'm sorry. And you're welcome.
When we did a breakfast for Denny over in Hawks Prairie. He still is irritated we haven't done it for him.
I'll say a little more about that, but I want to very quickly recognize we've got some great local legislators here and legislative candidates here. Karen Frazier, who does such an awesome job from the Olympia area. Your current county commissioner and future state representative, Linda Ring Erickson, is doing an awesome job, particularly with her experience in local government, being an advocate for local communities in the legislature. And I want to be sure to give a special shout out to one of the most passionate advocates for education in the state legislature, and that's Kathy Haig. Our lieutenant governor, the local boy, is here, and I want to mention I want to point out he did something that no other lieutenant governor in the history of the state has done, and that is he actually started a committee that was focused on economic development and international trade. And it's fitting that we're talking about the shellfish industry because it's tied to both. It's tied to economic development, providing I think over 3,200 jobs in this state, in the shellfish industry, and international trade opportunities. And we need to make sure that Brad Owen gets reelected. Yeah. In addition to letting me do my Mason County kickoff in his district, I want to tell you how much zeal I have for Denny Heck. He's a good friend. He's going to be a great member of Congress. There has been too much partisan bickering and not enough progress. And no one is better suited to make sure we get this country back on track than Denny Heck. And I hope you'll join me in giving I've been very honored for the last 3 days now. I've spent more time with Cantwell than with my wife, but in North Kitsap and on the peninsula, traveling all over the 6th Congressional District. And I have to tell you, it's just a real honor to be able to travel this district with her and talk about jobs. You know, she has been such a champion to make sure, first, that we hold accountable those on Wall Street, but also that we provide opportunities here on Main Street. And we need to make sure she gets reelected too.
Yes.
She's been leading the charge on ocean acidification, making sure that we provide opportunities in the shellfish industry. But the other thing is, you know, we were just down in Aberdeen talking about freight mobility. I mean, part of the effort is making sure that we do a better job of exporting Washington products rather than exporting Washington jobs. And she's the right person to make that happen. I'm only going to say a couple brief things. First of all, we've been working really hard. When I came in here, someone said to me, "I like your Halloween costume." And I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Aren't you dressed as a zombie?" And I said, "No, I'm a little tired, but not that tired." I put over 31,000 miles on my car since the start of this campaign. I'm coming out in very strong support of lower gas prices. I have to tell you, I have eaten more weird things over the course of this campaign. I've had bear stew in McCleary, which tastes like stew. I have had French fries and forks. I've had pizza in Paulsbo, but the best thing I have had on this campaign is shellfish in Shelton. It's true. It's really good here. I want to tell you why this matters to me, this conversation around jobs, not just in the shellfish industry, but in every industry. Because, you know, more than the miles I've put on the car and the food that I've eaten is the conversations I've had over the course of this campaign. And I want to share with you quickly one of the most memorable ones. I spoke with a woman at a diner. She was a small business owner, and she was a mom. And I said, "What are you hoping for your next member of Congress? What do you want out of the future?" And she said, "Here's the deal, Derick. We're at double-digit unemployment. I just want to make sure our community has a future." And then she said something to me that I've heard, or a sentiment that I've heard in more parts of this district than I want to count. She said, "I want to make sure that our top export isn't our young people." And I've heard that here in Mason County. I've heard that in Grace Harbor County. I've heard it up north on the peninsula. I've heard it in Kitsap. I've heard it on the hilltop at Tacoma. This notion that we need to make sure we're providing educational opportunities and job opportunities for our young people here. And that's part of what's at stake this election. We've got to make sure that we're doing everything we can. And we know how to do this, you know, providing help to our small businesses, making sure they have tax policies that grow jobs in the United States rather than overseas, making sure that they have access to capital, making sure that we can find good skilled workers. We know how to do this. But it means making sure that over the next 6 days, we work for these great candidates and make sure that we actually move forward rather than backward. So I want to thank each of you for putting in the time over all of these months to help great candidates. I hope you will keep at it. We've got 6 days. 6 days of knocking doors, making calls, waving signs. And it can make the difference between moving backwards and moving forward. Between an economy that's focused on trickle down and an economy that's focused on building from the middle out and providing opportunities for our small businesses. That's what's at stake this campaign, and I want to thank you for your help, and I want to just keep at it. All right? Thanks so much.
Thanks, Derick. Looking forward to seeing you in DC. It's really exciting. So, next, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the next congressman from the 10th Congressional District, Denny Heck. Denny. So Denny campaign. He was a little timid about eating oysters, but we brought him around.
In my kitchen, he brought them in, and my 45-year ban on oysters went out the window. Thank you for that so much more. Good afternoon. Hey, get fired up! Welcome to the brand new 10th Congressional District. Now, when you talk to members of Congress and you say, where are you from? Here's what you get. From McDermott, you get, I'm from the district with the Space Needle. From Kilmer, you get, I've got the Olympic Mountains. From Mr. Reichert, you get, I've got Mount Rainier. You know what I say? The 10th Congressional District is home to the largest shellfish farm in the United States of America, Taylor Shellfish. Derick and I have not big shoes to fill. We have legendarily giant shoes to fill in the form of Mr. Dix, who will go down in history as a great congressman. There's really not a lot of doubt about that. And of course, what we know that Norm has always stood for is jobs, jobs, jobs. Says it right there, says it on every campaign Norm D. Dix has had since 1976. Norm means jobs, and that is the heritage we inherit, and proudly so. I cannot imagine anything more important for the next United States Congress to put their shoulder to the